Welcome to Strength for Today for June 3rd. Love what God loves. This will be good. Let's look at 1 Samuel 16 verse 7. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things man looks at. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Love what God loves. The Lord's instructions to Samuel were clear. Samuel was to go to Bethlehem and anoint one of Jesse's sons as king. When the first son, Eliab, stood before Samuel, he assumed Eliab was the next king. But he wasn't. Not just because the firstborn, right? God's looking at something different. The Lord reminded Samuel not to look at the outward appearance of each son because he looks at the heart. After passing by each son, Samuel asked if all the sons were there. They were not. The youngest son, David, was tending the sheep. David was sent for, and God chose him for Samuel to anoint as king. Just as Samuel had assumed that God had chosen Eliab to be the next king, we also make the incorrect assumptions at times that we know God's plan. We compare ourselves to others and find ourselves lacking. This causes us to assume God won't use us because we don't measure up outwardly to those around us. Or we assume that God will use us because our resume is impressive, filled with qualifications, but God chooses someone else instead. God chose David because he was a man after his own heart. Being a man or woman with a heart for God means we love what God does. So love what God does, and he will use you. I just love that story because so often, it's all about the firstborn, right? And so when you're born in the middle of 7 kids like I am, you're thinking, where do I ever get a chance, right? So it was really great that God did not look at someone's birth order or how tall he was or how handsome maybe one of the sons was or how smart one of them was. They all might have been taller or smarter or whatever than David, but guess what? David had a heart that chased after God. He was a man after God's own heart. And so that's what God looked at. And that really makes me feel good because I'm not very smart, not very beautiful, have a lot of bad qualities, I'm sure. However, I'm trusting God, and guess what? He's using me. He's used me in the past to do a lot of things on mission trips, to lead women's Bible studies. Even though I'm not Beth Moore, I can still lead a women's Bible study. And now I'm doing these little daily devotion video things, which are helping a lot of people. So you know what? Don't worry, my friend. I'm sure you have a lot of faults like I do, but there's still a way that God can use us. It's a big world. There's a lot of people that need to be reached. And so he has put you in this timeline of the story of the world and in this certain place and this location with your specific skill set to do a certain job. So get out there and do it. Okay? He's waiting for you to do your job, and I will see you back here tomorrow. You can order your own copy of Strength for Today by Dr. David Jeremiah by going to davidjeremiah.org or calling Turning Point at 877-998-0222. And I would like to answer any question you may have about faith in Jesus. Just email me through my website, nancyjoytoyou.com. I hope you lean on God's strength and have a fantabulous day.